Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Keith Curry, your host on PTV1. Can we do it again? I want to at least get that right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Keith Curry with PTV1. I just wanted to reach out to you today and discuss an issue that's very current in our society as Americans, but also our position as Americans in the world. And we all know about the current ban on certain people entering the country. They consider it a ban on, I guess, nationality, if you will, but a lot of us consider it a ban on Muslims. Me being a student over at the Academy of Art in San Francisco, I had a fellow student that, by the graces of God, wasn't bothered by this ban, but was affected by the ban because he's Iranian and has a student visa to come to school here in the United States. Uh, it's a celebration talk because he's here with us today in the studio, and that's Payam Jafari. And we just wanted to sit down with Payam and talk about exactly what happened during the courses of the events from the time that the ban was put in place to how that may or may not have affected his travels, and how does he feel about the ban and his outlook on, his future as a co-filmmaker in the United States. So, Payam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Keith. I'm Payam Jafari, as you said, from Iran, and I'm happy to sit here with you. Um, so,
Well, I must say, you one of the you the flyest cat I know from Iran. You know what I'm saying? This brother got the threads, but he always be fly. So I just wanted to take a minute, put to the side, and just be like, boy, you be fresh. Your coat game is fearless. I know a lot of the sisters like that Kerry Washington because she got some cold coat game. But for the dudes I know, your coat game be off the chain. So that's just one side note. But yeah. So how long you been back, man?
it's been 2 days.
2 days?
Yes.
Yeah. So um, when the ban first happened, I can't remember exactly where I was, but I definitely remember feeling doom. As a black man in America, the moment a race or somebody is able to be identified and pushed away is the moment that's putting me closer to being back in shackles, literally. Coming from slavery, I just take it very seriously for anybody to be
I understand.
excluded, right? So for me, I know I felt doomed, and I wasn't even directly affected, but indirectly, I know if we start building up a tolerance for this type of behavior, to allow that to become the status quo again in America, then my fate is sealed as a black man in this country. So what were you doing when the ban was put in place?
Um, I was in our home in Tehran, Iran,
Mm-hmm.
with my family. We were watching television
Mm.
together, and I was looking at my phone, surfing the internet, and I saw the news. Uh, at that moment, I couldn't believe that, and I didn't believe. But when I, followed the news, I realized that no, that's serious.
Right, right.
So I cannot.
So you thought it was almost a prank.
Yeah, because when I followed all the debates before
Right,
election,
right, right.
and I heard that
Of course.
Mr. Trump made that statement.
But he was
But
flip flopping so much, it
yeah,
was, yeah, right.
at that moment I thought that's just for competition and
Mm,
getting attention for election, and
right.
I couldn't have thought that that will happen someday.
So was it a sunny day? How was the weather there in Tehran on that day?
People were upset because we as Iranian, when you study correctly, you will see that there's no there's no, you know, such a thing like terror attack by Iranian. If you
Right.
study last 200 years,
Right.
Iran hasn't invaded any countries.
Right.
And if you see um, uh, recent terror attacks that have happened in the United States, no Iranian is involved.
Right.
So we were upset because we were thinking like, why Iran is in the list? Why
Right.
Iran?
When in 9/11,
Ha-
15 of those attackers came through Saudi Arabia, correct?
yeah. So
So
why Iran?
why Iran?
But you know, there is many aspects in this situation. For example, one aspect is political aspect.
Mm.
So, when you see things, deeply, you will see that those countries
Hmm.
that in different ways um cause problem for American people and hurt them in U.S. soils
Right.
or outside the United States.
Right.
They weren't Iranians.
Right.
Um, why Iran is in the list?
Exactly.
Because maybe this person, your new president,
Hmm.
um, has business with those countries.
Right. Right. Wow.
But they don't have business with Iran. So
The people in Iran are not even blind to the fact that, okay, you have no interest here, so it's easy to put us on the list to exclude us
exactly,
with others.
exactly.
Well, I can say one thing, from uh, people that I've met in that region. Now, I understand that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Iranians and Arabs are different in many ways.
Yes.
Like there's
I've seen that.
Turkish, Arab, and Iranians is kind of like
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like you did. But we all like to, cause we all like to categorize you guys like Africans. Like somebody from Africa is like, oh, you African. Well, actually, I'm from Kenya, but I guess if you want to relate me to a continent, great.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I
Right.
feel yeah, that's what I feel when I first came here. I noticed that many Americans, with respect, they didn't know difference between countries in the Middle East. For example, Iranians are Persian, or we can call same Iranians. We speak Farsi, we speak Persian,
Mm.
and our culture, our background, our identity is our history is completely different from Arabs.
Right.
Um,
Now I'll tell you what opened my eyes to that. I started to realize that when I would visit places in Europe, even in America, I met two Iranian female doctors, and I said, "Wow, so Arab women can be doctors," and it was like, I know this might seem belittling, but I'm just giving you the perspective of way some Americans look at certain things, and that was very shocking to me. But then I had to be corrected. Well, we're not Arab, okay? We are Iranian,
yeah.
and we are very different. And it opened my eyes, and I'm glad that unfortunately, I was introduced to that region of the world as an American soldier. So it was almost a negative thing that happened to me.
Mhm.
But what I realized over there, and I don't want to get too much off on a tangent, is that many Iraqis, when I met them, often would tell me, well, my mother had power in her house 24 hours a day when Saddam was in power. Now we don't even have a proper place for her to bathe now that the Americans are here. So it opened my eyes to the fact that we like to put a lot of stereotype on that region altogether, and always take a step back and learn for yourself. All right, so um, I'm saying that to get to what is it that you would like Americans to know about, specifically about Iranian culture, as far as as to be American for me. I would
Good
say,
question.
oh, we the red, white, and the blue, and we believe in freedom. And as a Black American, I would say, we have struggles with equality and all these different things. But the overall perspective from the world is American is the land of the free.
Hmm.
Is there any type of slogan, if you will, that Iran could speak for. You know, the
Yeah.
Japanese is one race, one nation. You know, everybody kind of has their way of
Yeah.
looking at themselves. So
First of all, before answering your question, I just want to emphasize on this, mm, that when I'm talking about the Iranian and our differences with Arabs, I say that with respect because
right, of course,
we have people from South Korea and
right,
people from China. They might look uh, similar,
right,
but
exactly.
their culture, their language is completely different.
Hmm.
And same thing about Iranian and Arabs.
Right,
Our culture, our language is different, but with respect. I mean, they have their language is very beautiful
right.
when I listen to it, but it's just different.
Right, and I'm not saying that there's no Arab doctors. You know, I know you always have to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
super
Of course.
overly politically correct.
Yeah.
Trust me, I am a black man in America. I'm not trying to put no one down. I'm all
Hmm.
about lifting
Yeah,
people up.
exactly.
That's why
Same.
you're here today.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was the eye opener for me, you
Hmm.
know, that I really realized that Iranians are truly different to what we perceive them because we perceive them as Arab,
Yeah.
and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
Great.
But your question,
Just right.
I would love to. Uh, I would love to see American in Iran. You asked me something as a slogan. I can say that Iran is country of hospitality.
Exactly.
If I guarantee this, if any Americans come to Iran and introduce herself or himself as American while he or she is walking in sidewalk in Tehran, capital of Iran, uh, people would fight to invite that person to their home.
What? So they'll be fist fighting to invite me over?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you
So
one thing. I don't think Trump invited nobody to the house no time soon.
I know
So I tell you,
I'm exaggerating it, but like
no, but
that
it's a
was
good
just
point.
that's
Right,
metaphor
right,
for
right.
yeah. They would love to see American in their houses. They want to invite them and show them their
Culture.
culture, yeah,
Right,
their food, Persian food. So that's something that I would love to see. I always invite my friends,
right.
especially American friends,
Well,
to Iran.
you seem very happy. So is the Persian diet kind of Mediterranean in a way? Is it like a
Yes.
lot of fish and olives and those type of things? Or
Mm, yeah, we have because Iran is like four-season country. If
okay.
you come to Iran right now, you can go to north and you see snow. You go to south, it's hot.
Well, I
You know,
mentioned that because the audience, I just want them to know that this brother is really, a handsome guy.
thank you.
One of the producers when we walked in was like, "Man, I thought Prince had just walked in behind him." So
Thank you.
we got a well-educated man, a outstanding dresser,
Thank you very
a
much.
very handsome Iranian guy in here with us today. And I know the audience might be feeling like, okay, well, we're talking about a band. Why are we getting into all these other different things? Well, that's exactly what we need to be talking about to let people
Correct.
understand that there's no use in having a ban. Right? It's easy to say, well, let's ban these people, let's ban Iranians, let's ban these other ethnic groups out of the 7 or 8 countries that can't come here right now, but we have no understanding of that nation. And I think if we had a more dynamic conversation or just a little bit more of an understanding, then it would be more people protesting in the streets because they would realize that these people are just like me.
One thing, Keith, I want to say that, when I heard the news, I was thinking by myself. My first concern was my movie, and I wanted to finish that movie. But deeply, I was thinking about people. Like, okay, we are all human beings, regardless of our nationality, our religion, our skin color. We all fall in love. We all cry. We all laugh if someone hit our arms, our arms would hurt.
Right, right,
Uh, so we share common concepts. So why? What's the priority? What's the criteria of value to prioritize
right. No, it's all right.
uh, people?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why banning Muslim? Why this general title?
Mm-hmm.
It's so general. Why? Why we should generalized action of few individuals
Mm-hmm.
who are doing horrible stuff in that region
Okay.
to 1.7 billion Muslim in this
Right.
world. Why?
Do you feel that this is propaganda for the other side, for those that shouldn't be allowed to go into any country because they do have the intent to hurt
This
people? Do
ban,
you
this kind of action completely
works in their agenda, right?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah,
Well, let's get to okay. So you were with your family, enjoyed television, and this thing came
yeah.
on.
Hmm.
Okay, but you were lucky or blessed, depending on which way you look at it, that your original ticket date
Yes.
was 2 days ago,
Yeah.
right?
February 5th.
February 5th, and the ban was lifted on like the 3rd. It was like the
Third. Yeah,
weekend,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that allowed you to keep your original ticket date and come to the country.
Yes.
Um, I mean, that's just, I mean, it's a lot of people don't want to give credit when credit's due, but I think in moments in our life, when there's no, when you're powerless, but things work in your favor, you have to understand that,
Mhm.
uh,
You're right.
favor is given to those that our God truly loves. So, um, how did that feel to be able to come back?
Honestly, I was uh, completely. I was deeply happy. First, to be honest, I wanted to finish my movie because
So, what is the movie? You got a title for the movie
yes,
or
Hidden Crimson.
Hitting who?
Hidden Crimson.
Crimson.
Yeah, color
Okay.
like red.
Right,
Crimson.
right, 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 right.
If I'm
Okay.
pronouncing it right.
Right, right.
Um,
It's the right way to pronounce it. Cool.
uh,
Right.
so yeah, I was happy that I can finish my movie because my team is here, all my friends.
When you say
I
your team, your production crew, and those
Yeah, my
folks, like,
producers, my cinematographer,
which I
actors.
hope to be a gaffer or something, maybe a
My
gripper.
pleasure. Um, so yeah, I was happy so I can meet them and
Right.
finish my movie. Um, but one thing that touched my heart was
Hmm.
seeing American people fighting and protesting, not for themselves but for others' right.
Right.
That was something that I saw in the news, and I was like, yes, that's what we need in this world.
Right.
We need to be united,
Right.
not just in the United States, but
Right.
in our planet.
Okay.
Um, so I want to thank them all from bottom of my heart and tell them that as an Iranian, I love you. I invite you to Iran. Um, I appreciate it deeply.
Right. Right. Well, man, I just wanted to give you my deepest apologies. Um, I always have taken it upon myself as being retired military that when I go into that nation, I was representing my country. And even more so when I'm still here, even though I'm not in the military anymore, I still feel like that I'm an American and I'm a representation of my country. And when my country does wrong or I do wrong, I take it personally. So I feel like you were wrong. I'm glad that a judge in Washington State gave you an opportunity to continue your last semester of your master's
Yes.
degree to graduate
Yeah.
and do your thesis project and your feature film that you've been working on 3 years to do.
Yeah.
But as in closing, I want millennials to take a step back and look at our future. You know, as a father, I do things for my children's future, and I encourage my children to do things to better their chances in the future. So, as our parents and our grandparents, because these are the people that are in power right now, Trump is someone's grandparent and parent. As they do things that are not exactly for the best of our future, let's step back and fight for what we want our country to look like when we get in their position. I say that because ultimately it's our responsibility to ensure that we don't inherit a nation of bigots, of racism, of separation, of disgust. I don't want to stand for it. I refuse to stand for it, and I encourage others to do the same. I want to give a special thanks to Pam coming out to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you know there's a way that you can get involved, get involved. I encourage you. I thank you. This is the Millennial Media Group. Thank you. Bye.